a rare, happy, and uplifting story from September 11th, 2001.
I cannot express how thankful I am for this life, especially on a day when so many people lost theirs.
So many remember September 11th, 2001 as a day of loss. But for Kareena, it was a day she reclaimed her life. Just an infant at the time, 20 years later, she holds on to all she was given that day by a complete stranger who saved her life.
It's an excruciating time, waiting on the kindness of a stranger. Words really can't do justice to what you're feeling because you're so helpless.
Kareena was in desperate need of a liver transplant. At 4 o'clock that morning, doctors at Texas Children's Hospital received the call. They'd found a donor.
In the morning, we all got up, planning to make rounds and then take care of the transplant. And during our rounding, in one of the patient's rooms, the patient has spoken about the first jet that went into the World Trade Center.
The first of 2 planes had flown into the World Trade Center more than 1,000 miles away from Kareena in Houston, the beginning of the deadliest terror attack in human history. The deadly aerosol grounded aviation across the country, putting the transportation of her organ in jeopardy. That's when a team of medical professionals stepped up, refusing to allow the day to take another life.
We weren't going to let this stop us from fulfilling our mission and getting this girl's transplant. Nobody said no, not one time through that whole entire process. Nobody was willing to say we can't or there's no way.
Jill Grandis is the executive director of Tennessee Donor Services. This year, they facilitated close to 1,200 transplants in the state of Tennessee. She calls what happened nearly 20 years ago miraculous.
We knew that the little girl in Houston was really, really sick, and that she might die within a very short time if she didn't get a transplant.
Kareena's donor was more than 800 miles away in Tennessee, going through organ recovery the moment the planes hit.
The planes had just hit, and probably within 30 minutes or an hour, we were thinking, oh, planes are grounded. We can't do anything. We can't go.
They had just 12 hours before it would be too late.
And with Houston on the phone, we said, this organ may be suitable for donation and appropriate for your recipient, but we may not have a way of getting it to you.
Jill immediately got on the phone, flipping through a Tennessee phone book until she found the number for the Federal Aviation Administration at the Nashville Control Tower.
At that moment in time, I wasn't sure what I could do. In more than 20 years in the FAA, I've never seen anything like it.
While the liver sat idle inside a plane at the airport, they found a solution.
The next thing I knew, she said, Jill, the Tennessee Air National Guard is getting together volunteer airmen to get on a plane and take this liver to Houston. That was just, music to our ears. We couldn't believe it.
But the National Guard was still racing against time.
We went as far as we could. We were on the runway with engines running. So when the word came down, we were ready to go.
On the tarmac, they still needed approval from Washington to fly.
We still had to wait for a release before we could let them roll. And there was a lot of phone calling going on right then.
7 minutes later, it was the only plane in the sky.
It was destined to get to her, and we had to help make it happen.
In Houston, for Kareena's mother, she was relieved her baby was going to live.
At about 11:30, I got a phone call from Dr. Goss, and he said the 4 most beautiful words I have ever heard in my life. He said, "It's on the plane."
Today, that infant is a junior in college, grateful for the efforts she can barely remember.
I remember that you only have one life, and I'm very lucky to have mine. And I need to use that to, first to express gratitude, but also to be kind and to give back.
She now dreams of working in healthcare, wanting to give back, just like those who made this all possible 20 years ago.
And I hope you all know that I'm so, so grateful for this life. And as I get older, I realize just how incredible this story really is and how incredible the people are.
Really an incredible story, and our thanks to Kareena for sharing it with us.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.